Wait, I should probably... Wait, chat box and alert box. Bye. Yes, we are doing things. We're talking about autism. Wait, I should probably change the game to not GD, because it's not gaming based. What should I change it to? Education? I don't know. Okay. I'm just gonna like, because I was gonna do this as a video originally, but I've changed my mind and I'm gonna do like a stream for it because, yeah. So, that's what I'm doing. Right, so some people asked me some questions on YouTube, because I asked people to like give me some questions about autism and stuff like that. So I'm gonna answer these questions like in my because everyone who has autism is different, right? So I'm gonna answer these questions like, you know what I mean, in my way, if you know, like about me and about my experiences and stuff. So I think I'll just get right into it, honestly, because I can't do videos. They're just, I don't have the, what's the word? I don't have, what is the word, dude? The attention span. Jeez, I can't even process my own thoughts at this point. Okay. So hello Thea. Someone asked, Midnight the Nightwing 101 asked, I mean, what is it like living with autism? Is it bad? Did you get teased in school? Well, that's literally... I don't know about anyone else in the chat, if they have autism or not, but yes, I did get teased in school all the time. Also outside of school, by people I don't know, both kids and adults. They always... Like, that's why I'm scared to go outside. That's why I never go outside, is because people always would just be ready to just like, you know, annoy me or bully me or anything like that. I hate using the word bully, it's annoying, but people would always be ready to just harass me. And living with autism is... I'd rather not have it. Honestly, like, my whole life, I was like, okay, I've got these superpowers, but is it really worth it to sacrifice social... like, it's my social life for just being good at something and then losing interest in it anyway? So, yeah, it's not... It's hard to say. These are hard to answer, actually, but yeah, basically it is different from a normal person. Like, if something changes, like in my routine, because I don't really have a routine, but I have like a lifestyle, and if something changes in that lifestyle, I just feel horrible. Like, I feel like I just want to shut the whole world out, you know? And it's really hard for me. Let me just move this window. Okay. So, yeah, that's basically a yes to that one. But, okay, the next one is from Sonic YouTube Games, and he says, I have autism, but is it normal for everyone to hate you except your closest friends and family? Now, here's the thing. I always feel like everyone hates me. And they usually do. But... Oh, he's in the chat. Hi, Sonic. I'm reading your question, dude. But, it is. It's not. It's like no one hates you. Like not everyone hates you, at least. And that's the best thing you can think of, really, is that not everyone hates you. It's just that they just don't understand you. And most people, when they don't understand something, they try and ignore it, and that's the problem. Because instead of ignoring it, they should be trying to interact with it and understand it. So... I mean, I guess a lot of people... I keep thinking all the time, like, oh my god, they don't like me. And it's like... I know what you're on about, like, in this question. Like, I know that it feels like everyone hates you, but it's just they don't hate you, it's just they don't understand you. And... it's just how you've got to live, I guess. And it sucks, but... I guess I'd rather live... without people than with people, so... yeah, that's just me. But that was that question. And then Christian333 asks, can autism become more severe over time? And that is a yes. That's a definite yes. Because... it just depends on the person, really, but... I feel like... It can go both ways. It can either get better or it can get worse. Or I shouldn't say better or worse. I should say more severe or less severe. And it just no one knows why. It's how it is. So yeah, it can just at least with me. I don't know if it has with me, but. It definitely, like while my autism, I feel like my autism's gotten, like, I think it's gotten less severe over time, but then the other things that I have, which I'll talk about in other videos or live streams or whatever, they've gotten worse, and that in turn is just, it just feels like nothing's really changed, but it has, if you know what I mean. Okay, I mean, I don't really know how to answer that one further, but Carlos de la Rosa asks, how did you find out? Okay, so this is a weird one, but my family were all at this Christmas party at our house, and like there were people there, obviously, and they were like they were going to take a photo, right? And I was like, I hate having my photo taken. I was really reluctant even to just put this webcam on, because I know how much people make fun of my face, and some of those people are probably in the chat right now, but, I found out because I didn't want to be, like, in the photo that was being taken, and my mum had no, like, she had no idea what autism was. She thought it was just, like, people who were, like... Because everyone's idea at first of autism is like, oh, they're really, like, low-functioning, like, they're not very intelligent. But for me, my mum was told by one of her friends, the family friends, that, have you ever thought that your son might have autism? And she was like, what's that? What? I don't think so. And then she was like, oh, well... And then she went on to explain, like, autism to my mum, and then... Eventually, it just led to me getting a diagnosis in the end, so... yeah, it's different for everyone, like... But that was what it's like for me. Basically, I didn't want to be in a picture, and apparently that's quite the case with a lot of autistic people. Okay. Next one. From Seawater. I know an autistic kid, and he rocks back and forth like he's stuck... until someone tells him something. Is this normal for autistic people? Yes, it is normal. It's a symptom, and it's called... I think it's called stimming. So what people will do, like with what autistic people... Some autistic people, not all autistic people, but what they'll do is they will... they... Basically, their senses are overloaded, right? Say if their senses are overloaded, they're in an environment that's uncomfortable to them, or... that like this, they just want to relax, right? So what they'll do is they'll do this action. It's different with everyone, but it's like an action, or they'll say something, and it calms them down. And rocking is a very common one, because I've heard, I think I had a support worker, and she told me that some kid that she used to like support would be like that. He'd like rock backwards and forwards in his chair. Until someone caught him doing it, and then he'd stop suddenly and feel really embarrassed. And then she'd be like, no, it's okay, you can do it. Because she knew that it's a way for him to calm himself down or relax himself. So, yeah, it's called stimming. And that can be anything from like flapping your hands, to clapping your hands, rocking back and forth on your chair. If you look it up, there's a lot of different things that people do that are stims, but yeah. Okay. Next one is from The Dice, and he says, do you agree that there are benefits of being autistic? I have autism and I use it to make people act nicer to me, and every time I make a mistake, I blame it on autism. That is something you shouldn't do, okay? Don't use your autism as what's the word? Like a guilt trip. That's right. Don't use it as a guilt trip, because it's just manipulating people into feeling bad for you, and it's not. Like, yeah, sure, you are, like, disabled, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't use it like that. You shouldn't use it, because it's who you are. But, yeah, that's all I really have to say about the second half. But the first half, benefits of being autistic, yeah, because, like, I'm more intelligent than most people. I learn things a lot quicker, depending on what they are. Sometimes I can find myself very focused on something, and I can be very productive with it. And I guess that's like the main thing, is that I'm like that. Those are the benefits, really. So yeah, I guess those are the benefits really for me. But yeah, don't manipulate people into feeling bad for you like that, because it's not good. Karma will come back and get you, dude. All right. Next one is from Arsonfly, and he says, how severe is your autism? I have low-level high-functioning Asperger's, so mine isn't very severe. I have the same. I'm high-functioning Asperger's. It's low-level, so I'm not. Most people would look at me and think, oh, he's relatively normal, he doesn't it? There's no way he has autism, right? Crypto, I will get to that in a minute. But people will be like, oh, he doesn't look autistic. But I am. It's just because it's a lot harder to tell when it's like someone who can communicate well and is used to socializing. I'm used to socializing, I just don't like doing it, because it makes me uncomfortable. But yeah, that's me. I'm low functioning. Oh my god, this is another thing I'm gonna get to in a minute. Both Aidens, jeez. But yeah, I'm high functioning but low level Asperger's syndrome. Okay, that was that one. And then Silver Wisp. I think I've answered this before though. Yeah, I've answered that before. Okay, it was does autism get better or worse over time? I've answered that already, I think. And then Light G30 asks, how do you think others should perceive their disability? Honestly, I'm not really sure. A lot of people have autism in different ways. Like, autism is different for everyone. And I don't know, it's a disability. Yeah. So you are like, sorry if it takes me a while to answer these things, like I take big pauses. It's hard for me to process a lot of things at once, which is another thing I'm going to go into, but yeah, it's honestly, it's just who you are, really. It's who you are, and you shouldn't let it, like, it defines you, to be honest. It does define you. I was going to say you shouldn't let it define you. It does define you. Because it really just is it's how you think, it's how your brain works. So just go with it. Live with it. Be proud of it, because it's something special. Like, obviously, it is a disability, but it is something special, and not a lot of people have it. I mean, actually they do, but there are quite a lot of people who don't, so... yeah. You think differently than other people. You think in a different way. That's all it really is. If you want to dumb it down, that is. But, yeah, just don't overcomplicate it, even though it is complicated. Okay, you know what? Fuck it, we're moving on to the next question. I'm just going to repeat myself. Okay. Does living with autism... Oh, wait. Dornock49 says, Does living with autism have an effect on other conditions, whether it be physical or mental? And if so, how is it treated? Okay, here's the thing. You can't really treat autism. Sure, you can have medication and stuff, but it won't really treat it won't really treat the condition. So, it does have an effect on other conditions. Like, I have generalized anxiety disorder, for example, and for me, like, because I have autism, my senses and my feelings are like, they're like blown out of proportion. I'm a lot more sensitive, basically, to sensations and feelings. So when I'm anxious, that's just multiplied by a large amount. So most people, they'll feel anxious and they'll be like, oh, I just feel like shaky, I feel uncomfortable, I have butterflies in my stomach. For me, I get a stomachache, I feel sick, and I throw up sometimes. And then if it gets to a certain point, I have a panic attack. And that is horrible. But that's what it's like for me. So basically, yeah, it does have an effect on other conditions. Yeah. Physical, I'm not sure, because I don't really have anything physical, but it does have an effect on other conditions. Okay, right, next one. Subsonic asks, does it affect your gaming in a good or bad way, or not at all? By the way, thanks for spreading awareness. It's always good to remind people that those conditions are out there and affect people in every position. Yeah, thanks, man. I can't believe I'm doing this, really. I've never really, like, spoken openly and answered questions about it. Dude, my throat is going to be so dry. I need to take a drink of lemonade. My throat's drying up. But, right, so does it affect my gaming? Yes. If it wasn't for autism, I probably wouldn't even be good at GD. The fact that I was able to get so addicted to GD so fast and learn things so quickly and get used to things so quickly is because of my autism. And it's because I have this knack for video games, I guess. And I get used to video games, I learn things so quickly, and it's just... If it wasn't for autism, I probably wouldn't be good at GD. That's really it. Because I probably wouldn't be able to retain my interest in it for 5.5 years. Jeez, it's been that long. And also, I feel like it helps my rhythm. My ability to recognize rhythm. Which is why I'm so good at Wave. I think my autism contributes to how good I am at Wave. I really think it does. So... yeah, because if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't be able to have such accurate wave spam and stuff like that. So it does affect my gaming, and it does affect it in a negative way as well, because if I'm not having fun, I'm going to complain. And I can't really help that, because it's just... video games are part of me, right? And it's like, if I'm not having fun, it's going to affect my mood, and it's not going to be fun. Okay, see you, Sonic. But yeah, that's that basically. Right. Atraxis asks, I can't say that word, asks, how can you identify autism? Okay. This is a really complex question. Everyone with autism is different. Okay, so it's called a spectrum, right? Because there's just so much, it's on this massive wavelength, basically. There's just so much, like, that goes under it. There's so much that comes under it. You can't really... It's just... It all comes under, like, a different... Like, there's a lot of different things, okay? It's hard to answer this question because there's so many different things. But basically, you'll notice that autistic people, they might not look you in the eye when they're speaking to you. they might want to talk about like a specific interest they have, and they could talk about it forever. And they want to like they'll even go as far to hijack conversations in order to talk about this interest. And another one is they will stay away from crowds. They like being alone, so they don't have many friends, and they'll just basically keep to themselves. There's a lot more, but I feel like those are the main ones, right? But yeah, those are the main ones. It's really difficult to identify. I think what it usually is someone won't realize they have it until someone points out that it isn't normal, and then they'll go and get tested, and then they'll find out, okay, I'm on the spectrum, and that's it. But it's different for everyone. I've said this like 15 times, but it's how it is. It's how it is. All right. What was it? Oh, Misty Throwan says, what was it like coming out and telling your fans about having autism? Fair play, mate. I would not have been able to. Okay, so it's not like I'm coming out and saying it like as a revelation kind of thing. It's who I am. Yeah, it's just who I am. It's not like it's not like I'm coming out and telling people that I'm gay or anything. But I don't know what it's like. I guess it's not. It makes me uncomfortable talking about it, but I know that I have to talk about it because it's surprising how many people don't understand a lot of things about it. But yeah, that's how it is, I guess. But it's hard to answer that question. Let's see. Ruggy asks, I have a cousin, and only after I met her and she left town did I find out she had autism. I never really noticed, so how much can it vary from person to person? Person to person, okay. So, it can vary from person to person. So far, it's unbelievable. Like, someone can be extremely intelligent, but they can stay away from, like social situations. They don't like people. But then someone can be not very intelligent, so low functioning, but then they can have, like, this, They're good with people, I say. I say they're good with people. It's not like they're good with people, but they like being around people. It can just vary so much. There's no real pinpoint definition for it, which is why it's called autism spectrum disorder. So, that's that, I guess. Right. Where is it? Okay. Jangi AK83 asks, do you have normal autism or Asperger's syndrome? Okay, so there's no real normal autism, because it all comes under the spectrum, but I do have Asperger's syndrome, yes. Which comes under the autistic spectrum, yeah. Depressed Filipino guy asks, what a name. Did your parents do something about it? If so, what did they do? Okay, so my parents, there's not much that they could have done, obviously, because it's like, at the time that I was diagnosed, it was only starting to, like, come into the mainstream media about how much it's, like, important and stuff, and how much it affects people. I'm getting lightheaded from all this talking. But what they basically did is, obviously, they took me to the GP, and the GP referred me to a specialist who was able to then diagnose me. And yeah, that's basically what they did. And then they also tried to get, like, support in school and college and stuff like that, which is pretty hard to get because not everyone understands what you need and stuff like that, but yeah. That's basically it. Ugh. It's so hard speaking for this, like, length of time. Right. Gabby's Depression asks, how can autism spread throughout from generation to generation, and how much is the chance that you'll have it? So, I feel like autism is more of an environmental thing than anything else. But it's a mixture of environmental and hereditary factors. If someone in your family, if one of your parents has autism, it's very likely that you're going to have it. It's just how it is. And yeah, it's the chance that you'll have it is just basically depending on if someone else has it in your family. That's really it about that. Okay. Cool Starburst says, with autism, do you ever feel like it contributes to depression as well as an increase in tics? Okay, here we go. This is the big one. Okay, so, yes, it definitely does have an impact on depression, because it feels like I get depressed a lot more easily than most people. But then it also feels like it feels like when I am depressed, it's like amplified. So I feel even worse than I think, or than I would have thought that I'd feel. And I think that's like the main thing there, is that it's like with autism, everything's just amplified, and that can be good or it can be bad. It doesn't really matter. It's just everything is just multiplied. Like every feeling, every emotion is just multiplied. And then we've got tics, right? Okay, this is funny for me to talk about because I actually do have tics. I don't have Tourette's. Tourette's is different. It's not different, but it is different. And basically, my tics, or I make this, I don't want to do it because it's really embarrassing, but I make a really weird face and I clench my hands like that. And basically, the reason I do that is because I feel an urge. It's like, you know when you're about to sneeze and you can feel it coming, and it's like, oh. And then I feel that basically in my brain, in my neck, and in my back. And it's like an urge, like it's like a rush, like an adrenaline rush kind of feeling. And then I feel like I have to do this. Like, even just doing that, it felt nice doing it now, even though it's not actually a proper tic. Now I'm feeling like I really have to do it. Oh, for fuck's sake. And then I do it and I feel relieved, right? And it's like, it's basically like having a sneeze. That's literally what it's like for me. It's like having a sneeze. So I feel it coming and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I sneeze and I feel better. That's basically what it's like. It's like a relieving feeling. Well, yeah. That's basically it. Is that, yes, I do have tics, and yes, you will see me do them on camera sometimes, which is why I generally don't like having my camera on, because it's holding them in it has a toll on how I feel and my energy and stuff. So I necessarily just leave my camera off. So yeah, because oh my god, I can't fucking stop. It's I get embarrassed when I tic, and I do tic occasionally. When I have my camera off, it's even worse. So it's like, for me, it's like if I'm watching something like a YouTube video, and it's like it's stimulating my brain, right? I think it's because it's stimulating my brain too much. So I feel like I need to let off some of the pressure. I feel like that's kind of what it's like the whole thing behind the tics. But yeah. So, yeah, it does. Right, what's the next one? Okay. Hugo CS74 says, is it possible to socialize with autism? Completely. It's completely possible for someone with autism to socialize. And it's totally normal too. Like, you'll see a lot of autistic people will be socializing. It's just that they can't socialize with... it's like they won't feel like they can socialize unless they're talking with someone with similar interests or someone who understands them or anything like that. And personally for me, I don't like socializing. Fucking hell, I feel lightheaded as fuck from all this talking, but I personally don't like socializing, so I'll try and stay away from people as much as possible unless they're my friends. Yeah. It just depends on the person, really. Right. Tony Gaming asks the big question. What is autism? Right, okay. God, my brain is fried. But autism is just a disorder. It's a mental disorder. Basically, your brain is wired differently to other people. And you think in a different way to other people. That's the main thing it is. I can't stop fucking yawning. But that's what it is, really. Is that you think different to other people. In different ways to other autistic people, too. And you can, it's so different, like, the whole thing is so different. Oh, fucking hell, it's just, it's hard for me to describe, but yeah, that's basically it. You just think, it's just a disorder where you think differently from other people. Jeez. Okay. The #slinging slasher says, what is the difference between autism and Asperger's? I know I can look it up, but I want to hear your perspective too if you have one. There's no difference. Like, it just depends on the context, really. So, with autism is the broad, like, if you were talking about the whole spectrum, you'll talk about autism, but you'll find a lot of people do say, oh, I have autism, instead of, oh, I have Asperger's. You'll find that that's a thing, and that's because Asperger's comes underneath the autism spectrum. But you can still label it as autism, and people will understand. That's basically, there's no real difference, other than with context. Right. Kinetic says, is it worth getting tested for it if you and your family/friends believe you have it? Does knowing lift a weight? It is worth it, because you can get support in multiple different ways. You can get, say in school, you can get like allocated times where you can be alone and do what you need to do, or you can, like, when it comes to examinations, you can have a computer if you're more comfortable with it. You can be in a room separated from other people. You can also get money from the government, depending on what, like, how severe it is, maybe. And having a diagnosis definitely does lift a weight. I would be lying if I said it doesn't, but at the same time, it just depends on how you feel about it. So for me, I knew there was something different with me. And, yeah, I guess it did lift a weight. A small one. Not a big one, but yeah, that's that one. Okay, I've been waiting to answer this one. Alex K asked, do you ever find yourself unable to or having a lot of trouble with processing things people tell you even though you hear them fine? Yes, that is one of my biggest problems as of right now. So, quite frequently, as I was saying earlier, I did mention this earlier, quite frequently, someone will be saying something to me. They could give me an instruction, they could just tell me how their day went. I will listen to them, and I know what they've said, but I'm sitting there like, yeah. And I'm like, and then I realize, hang on, they've just asked me something. And then I try and go back to, like, I'm still like stuck processing it, like, I know what they've said, and I'm trying to, like, make the words make sense in my head, and it can take anywhere from, like, sometimes I don't even manage to process it. So I'm, like, standing there, and I'm like, I'm like standing there, and I just can't think. I just can't understand what they've said. Like, I'll know what they've said, I just can't understand it. And I'm standing there processing it, trying to. And, yeah, it happens all the time. Every day. Quite often, Thea will ask me a question, I'll be like, yeah. Yeah, exactly what Thea's just said in the chat. Exactly. And it also happens when reading things. Not only will it happen when someone says something to me. It happens when I'm reading something. I'll have to keep going back and read it over and over and over again until finally my brain's like, okay, I get it. And it's the biggest problem I have right now, I think. So, I think it's the biggest problem I have. Okay. Silva asks, do you have any trouble doing a lot of things at the same time, and does it affect your memory sometimes? Yes. I have to do things one at a time. Otherwise, I just won't be able to do it. I'll like get distracted, and I just can't. I can't do multiple things at the same time because it hurts my brain. I get distracted, and then I do something else. So it's one at a time with me. And about the memory, does it affect my memory? I mean, autism in general, yes, because I have an extremely good memory. Right? I can remember specific things very quickly, and I will remember them for the rest of my life. Like, there are some things that I'll hear them or else I'll read them and I'm like, okay. But then 50 years later I'll be like, oh my god, I just remembered this, and it's like, oh, that's cool. I surprise myself with what I remember sometimes, especially if it's something that I feel like I'm not even interested in. But, yeah. That's a definite yes. But it also affects some things, like I won't remember a lot of I nearly said autistic instead of important. Oh my god. I need to take a break. But there will be times when I'll like, my mum's like, do this, or you'll have to do this, or you'll have to say this to someone, and I'll just completely forget. It's not my fault. I literally wrote it down somewhere or set a reminder, and I still forget. And, yeah. Oh, you're gonna have to give me a minute. My head is just dying. But it's a definite yes. Right. I only have 3 more questions. Wow. I've only been streaming for like 40 minutes. Jeez, that's 40 minutes of talking. Oh my god. Dark GMD says, you have autism. Yes. That's literally, I don't know why I fucking screenshotted that one. Does this stream feel out of my comfort zone? Yes, it does. Because I know that there are people in the chat that are like probably making fun of me right now. And I know who they are. But yeah, it does feel out of my comfort zone. But Rippled says, what is it like having a mental disability in general? I don't know, since I don't have one. Respect to you, though. Depending on what it can be, it can either be just a simple change in lifestyle to other people, to extremely painful, disorienting, and worrying, and all this sort of shit. But yeah. It's like... It is different. Well, I mean, I don't know. I can't really say because I was born with it, right? So I can't really say, oh, it's like this being normal, and it's like, I can't do that. But yeah, it's it is different, I'm pretty sure, and it does suck very much. But it also is pretty cool in some cases. But yeah. Fusion asks, how does it affect your ability to concentrate in games? Now, this is a big one because I obviously I've played GD for 5.5 years. That's a very long time to play a game. 5,000 hours on PC. That's a long time. So I can concentrate. I used to be able to sit down and play GD for 14 hours straight, and I would not be bored. Now it's like I open the game and I'm like, why did I open this? And I close it again because I don't want to play it, and I just open it. But then I'm like, oh, do I really want to? Like, there's nothing fun anymore. Yes, it does affect my concentration in a good way and a bad way at the same time. But yeah, that was the last question, by the way. So I guess if you guys have any questions, you can ask them. Because my brain is fried and I need to stop speaking. I just feel fucked up in my brain right now. Te parece estúpido. How's life going? That is the one question I struggle to answer the most, because I just don't know. Every day feels the same, I guess. Oh shit, I didn't even see that. Hi Sev, how did you find out about it? Was it diagnosed at birth, or were there pointers you had noticed? Okay, so I answered this earlier, but basically I was at a Christmas party in my house with my family, and my mum wanted to take a picture of the whole family together. And I said no, because I find I get really uncomfortable having my picture taken. Like, I'm uncomfortable with this fucking face cam on. But I'm doing it, because why not? Yeah. That's basically how we found out, because I just didn't want to be in that photo, and then someone told my mum, okay, he probably has autism, and she's like, oh, okay. And then she took it further, and then I got diagnosed 3 years later. But yeah. Do I believe that having autism would be an inhibiting factor in achieving success in your life? Yes. 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 What would I personally do to combat this inhibition? I can't do anything. It's just how I'm built as a person. Like, a lot of people, like, as I was saying earlier, people will always be like, everyone has to do something that they don't like doing or that they feel uncomfortable doing. Yeah, but does everyone have autism? No! So they don't know how it feels for us. It feels a lot worse and a lot different for us doing things that we don't like doing. It feels horrible. So, yeah. That's that. If this live stream will become a video, no, I'm just going to leave it like this. I don't have the attention span to edit because of my autism. What about the kids who were born with autism? Can it be gone from them? You mean, can they lose it over time? Everyone's born with autism, by the way, I think. And then the environmental factors end up developing it. But no, you will always have autism. It just will either get worse, or it will either get more severe or less severe over time. But you'll always have it. Okay? It's alright, Sev. I'll just have to get used to it, I guess, repeating. Do you know when you somehow think about something disturbing and you can't stop thinking about it, but it disturbs you so much? Wait. This is one of those things that I can't process. Wait. Oh, okay, I know what you mean. Yeah. Okay. Yes. I do know about that. And it is frustrating. Like, when I can't get something out of my head. It is frustrating. But I guess it's not that much of a big deal. How's quarantine affecting my mood or lifestyle? Is it better because I don't need to go out, or is it worse? Both. I never went out anyway. I never left my house before coronavirus broke out. So it hasn't really changed in that respect, but at the same time, because other people's lives have been changed and their lifestyles have changed, I feel it changing my own, and I don't like that. Like, for example, my mum had a period where she didn't go to work, right? Because coronavirus. And she was at home all the time. And I like having like a part of the day where I'm alone at home. I like that. And not having that, I didn't like that. So yeah, it does affect it both positively and negatively. Right, okay. Does autism affect anything such as OCD/intrusive thoughts? I'd imagine it would. I don't think I have OCD, but I'd imagine it would. Yeah. Yeah. I don't have any more. Oh wait, okay. When you're trying not to think about it, it will get worse. Yeah. I mean, I guess. Does autism make it easier or harder to find a girl? Well, I'm gay, so I don't find girls, but yes, it does. Because it's harder to be social. And then obviously since you're autistic, your emotions are amplified. So when you love someone, when you like someone, that is amplified to the extreme. You will not be able to stop thinking about them. Or at least in my case, you won't be able to stop thinking about them. You'll constantly want to talk to them. You'll constantly want to be around them. You'll start acting like them. And some people find that clingy or weird. And it's just like, I can't help that. It's just, I can't do anything about that. It's how I am. Right? But yeah. Okay. My cousin has autism, and I've noticed that he has some communication issues socially. Do you struggle with this too? Yes, especially when I was younger. But because I've grown as a YouTuber and a streamer, I'm able to interact with people a lot better than maybe like 10 years ago. I hated interacting with people back then. I refused to do it, and I still do, but that's because I couldn't do it. And now it's just like, I refuse to do it because I don't want to do it, and I'm comfortable not doing it. So, yes. Communication issues is the main part of autism, I think. How do I feel about anti-vaxxers using autism to push their agenda? I don't know. Because I don't know anything about it. So, I can't really comment on that. Did I get bullied in school? All the time. Still do, by the way. Do I think that education as it works right now is very troublesome? Yes. Because, especially in public schools, because there's not enough stuff to cater to autistic people, and it sucks because... Got a minute, I need to stop talking because my brain's just dying. But yeah. It is. It was for me. And all. Do I have special interests? Yes. I do. My first one was aviation. So, aviation is actually a big thing for autistic people too. Like, you'll find a lot of people love aviation. But for me, it was commercial aviation, and it's because my dad used to take me to the airport to watch planes, because I don't know why he did it, but he just did it. And I enjoyed it because it was really cool. Like, because there was this runway. There was this road before the runway at the airport, and you could park your car there, and then the planes would land over your head. And as a baby, I used to love that, and I still do. It's pretty cool watching it, and that just got me interested in Flight Simulator, and then I learned how to fly a plane through Flight Simulator, how to program a plane, how everything works, all the buttons. Yeah, that was the first one, and then the second one was playing the piano. You'll notice... Don't know why my camera did that, but you'll notice there's a piano back there, over there. I used to play the piano a lot. Oh god. My brain is dying because I'm trying to think about so many things at once. Oh, fucking hell. One sec. Okay, I'm back. Ugh. My headache's partially gone, and I have food. Just gotta hope that I don't eat a mushroom. Alright. Fucking hell. Honestly, though, I did answer, like, the majority of the questions, though. Yeah. What? Yeah. I'll deafen again, then. What do I recommend autistic people do to remedy boredom? Do what they love. Do what they like to do. That's pretty much it. I mean, that's all I do all day, is that, so. What is it? I have no idea. Honestly, part of me wants to say yes, but then again, I can't really, like, I don't know. I honestly don't know. Because, yeah, I feel like the answer is yes, but I just don't know. For me, it's not scary. It's just, I don't know. It feels like being drunk. No, I'm pretty sure you aren't the only one. I know a lot of people who are scared of alcohol. Honestly, though, I feel like the stream was pretty successful, though. I kind of did what I wanted to do the whole time. But I feel burnt out because I was literally speaking for so long straight. Who cares about GD? The fact that I'm good at a game does not define me as a person. Yeah, honestly, I think I'm gonna end the stream because I kind of did what I wanted to do, right? And I need to cool down, because my brain is dead. But yeah, I'm gonna stop streaming. Thanks for being here, though. Answering questions was pretty cool, and I'm gonna do it again with the other ones when I feel like it. But yeah, for now I'm gonna go. So. See ya.